Hello, welcome back to Eric's Welsh Garden. Today we are down the allotment and we're going to be harvesting some potatoes. Back in early March this year, myself and Rue from Rue's Life decided to have a go at growing some potatoes in cardboard boxes. Now this was totally inspired by Liz Zorab's book called Grounded, where she wrote about creating an entire bed in her old garden out of cardboard boxes, filling them up with compost and then planting straight into them. So me and Rue thought, what a fabulous idea, and we would give it a go ourselves. So we picked up a bag of first earlies each, got them planted. The rest was history. They've grown over the season and now it's time to get them harvested. One thing that me and Rue really liked about this concept was you could really quickly create a no-dig raised bed, a really deep amount of compost in these, and then over the season they would rot away. You'd be left with that much cardboard that could be easily put in the compost, and you've got a pretty good bed straight away made. So definitely worth it. What we've really enjoyed about this is just noticing that no grass or weeds have actually grown up in between the cardboard boxes here, which is something that we thought might happen. So we actually put a kind of a complete layer of cardboard box underneath the cardboard boxes, which meant there was like a double layer underneath. So I'm so impressed with that, because that was one thing that people were asking, thinking, well, you know, why are you creating a raised bed out of something that's going to disintegrate? That was the point. And as you can see, they have held together really well despite them being made out of cardboard. Another thing we also did was we actually put a layer of wood all the way around the raised beds as well. The reason for that was because you can see behind and in front there's lots of grass, and I didn't want the grass kind of invading the beds as they were growing. So this is the moment of truth. It's time to harvest the potatoes. Now, before I harvest them, I am going to say that the compost that I used was a peat-free compost. It was 99p a bag, and it was really just made up of kind of rotted down green waste. So it was very woody, and probably quite a lot of wood chip in there as well. So not sure how well the potatoes have done because of that, but also in the spring we actually planted these in March, and actually we both messaged each other and said they may have even rotted because it was so cold. When they started growing, we then got a frost as well. So all of these plants had a really kind of hard life at the very start, and then now it's been really hot, they've kind of died back completely. So I'm not sure how good this harvest is going to be, but I don't think it's because of the cardboard boxes if we have a pretty kind of low weight of potatoes, because they've really had such a tough year. So I'm just going to go kind of bed by bed and get the potatoes out, and yeah, hopefully we'll have a nice little harvest. So far, I'm just going to say they're absolutely tiny. Okay, that's the first box done. Not looking great, but this was one that had actually died off quite early. You can see the ones behind has still got a bit of green on, so hopefully I've got a slightly bigger harvest in these ones. Wow, look at that one, which has got a bit of damage on there, slug damage unfortunately. Well, that is a much better harvest from this one, where the plant was still green and still able to photosynthesize and feed the potatoes to get a slightly bigger tuber, but still quite small really in comparison to a normal harvest. So far, I'm actually really impressed with this idea. So simple. You can just create a kind of raised bed with a cardboard box within minutes pretty much, and had it not been such a bad year early on, I think we'd have much bigger harvests from each of the boxes. And I think that is it. That is the harvest from growing in cardboard boxes. And do you know what? I am really impressed with how good this harvest is, because like I said, it's been a really bad year. Everything has just been so kind of confused by this really bad weather. So getting this from, you know, a really, really quick thing is a brilliant harvest. Now, I had actually planned that on the day that I was going to be harvesting these, I would then be replacing the harvest with some leeks. But unfortunately, my leeks in the nursery bed have succumbed over the last week to this amazing heat that we've been having. They've been watered twice a day, but I think I'm going to have to maybe re-sow some, because I don't think they're going to be any good for planting in this bed here. While I get cleared up here, get home, weigh the potatoes so we can have a proper look at them, I'll leave you with Rue's video and you can see how good her harvest was.
So here is my little harvest. There are some decent sized ones, there's just not many of them. And I think on reflection, it isn't the way that we planted them or the cardboard box bed. I do think it's down to the location where I decided to put the beds, and also it has been a particularly difficult growing season, I know, for many people, so that could have had a bearing factor as well. So I think those could be the contributing factors, but I'd certainly give it another go. I perhaps would locate it in a slightly different place next time.
Thanks for sharing your harvest with us, Rue. And unfortunately, I also had a really terrible harvest this year. I just think that it was really too cold in March when we put them in. I've only managed to get a weight of 1.3 kilograms today. And I think had we not just had that really cold spring, they definitely would have done much better. 3 of the 6 boxes that I had with potatoes did actually die off quite early. And I think maybe they just didn't really recover once they got that kind of touch of frost in, I think it was kind of late May. They just started coming through and I kept having to keep putting compost on top of them. So it is what it is. Unfortunately, it's not been a very good harvest. And unfortunately, I can't even put the leeks in straight away because it's been so hot the last couple of weeks. They have frazzled. So there you go, we live and learn, but I'm so pleased that I gave the cardboard box raised beds a go, and I'm definitely going to start saving some cardboard boxes so I can create a much larger one for later in the autumn. And I'm thinking of maybe doing something like an onion bed, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And also, if you're not familiar with Rue and you want to see her entire video where she has harvested hers, then I will put a link down below in the description, above now in the cards, but also make sure you subscribe to her channel. She's got a really amazing homestead in like North Wales and always has loads of great content. So I'm gonna leave the video here. Thank you so much for watching. If this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, please do hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified of all of my latest videos. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.